We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace. Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast. My name is Nate, and in today's episode, new details on the Cassian Andor series. Will Disney World ever be the same again? And we get nostalgic over video games. But first, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a weekly show covering the world of film, television, gaming, toys and collectibles, and all things geek-centric. Joining me on the show, we have the jankiest, the joustiest, the jump man, Jayla.
What's up, geeks?
And from a digital space only known as FaceTime, we have the combo breaker, triple kill Kevin.
Ah, sweet. I always get the best names. How's it going, everybody?
Everything works with K. Nothing
There we
works
go.
with J. So I try
That's
my
usually
best.
story of my life. Story of my life.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Hanging in
Good,
there.
man.
This fine evening, you guys are still, we're like everyone else in the world, we're all just cooped up in our house. You
What are
guys,
we on?
is it getting to
What
you
are-
yet?
What are we on, week 6?
Oh, it's like week 900, it feels like.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7, I
What
think.
did
6
what
or
did
7.
Ryan Reynolds say on that Canadian special? Welcome to the 10th anniversary of this 6-week quarantine.
Yeah, pretty much, right? I was thinking we jump right into Whatcha, because I feel like we might have a little bit more Whatcha than normal. So let's start with Justin this time. Justin, what you been up to, bro?
Actually, truthfully, I haven't really been doing much. I've been working, actually, so haven't been able to take in too much content.
Working?
Yeah. My job has been accelerated as of lately, so just been busy with that. But in midst of all that, I've actually watched 3 things.
Okay.
I started watching Primal,
Oh, yeah.
which is great. Yeah.
Awesome. You've been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Kev, it's how do you say his name, Nate?
Gendy Tartakovsky, the same guy that
Yes.
does Samurai Jack. We talked
Oh,
about
it's
it on
the caveman dinosaur one?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's awesome.
It's
so good.
great, right?
I've watched 2 episodes. I'm thoroughly impressed with the lack of dialogue and all the sort of sound effects that are
It's
in
so
it.
good. It's so nuanced.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good.
Sick, man.
What else? I finally sat down. Thank God for YouTube first. Let me just tell you that, because someone out there took all of the behind-the-scene features from The Rise of Skywalker plus the 2-hour documentary and put it into one video on YouTube. So it was a 3-hour video.
Link, please.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll send you the link. So I watched the 2-hour documentary, which was like fantastic, just about like how, closing out this final film for the Skywalker saga, and like some pretty interesting points or like just some interesting things. Like I'll give you one. Like we all talked about it in the recap podcast of the movie, but John Williams was in the film, and in that scene where he's standing, you wouldn't see it in the scene, but what they did is they dressed the background with almost like artifacts from all the films that he had been a part of over 40 years. So like there's like something from E.T., something from Indiana Jones, like the whip in Indiana Jones, but they're all just made to look like more Star Wars-y sort of stuff.
I think I saw a clip of that. They also have the time turner from Harry Potter, which is actually a little bit more visible.
Yes.
that's
They
cool.
have
Sick.
Yeah. So they have all these little artifacts in the background, but you would never know that from that scene. Like I watched that scene again, and it's like you don't see any of that stuff, but it's like it's very interesting that they went into that much depth for his cameo appearance alone, just to put in those little artifacts. So I thought that was kind of cool. Kind
great
of
homage.
nice way, pay homage to John Williams and the impressions he's left on Star Wars. And just the little Easter eggs. Like I didn't know this, but in Babu Frick's place, there's the bad robot like head that's in there.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
as a
and,
droid.
like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so cool. That makes so much sense.
Like, and they don't even like really address it. They just show the set and they show someone like moving it around, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the Bad Robot like logo. It's so cool. It's kind of cool that they did that. So there's just these little things in there. Yeah, it was really good. If you guys get a chance, check it out. It's nice insight into the behind the scenes. And then other than that, just been watching Westworld.
Oh, Westworld.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, it's so good. It's so good. And the last, like, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, just to say though that last episode that just recently came out, the second last episode if you're listening to this later, that 7th episode was just fantastic. I won't say who, but just there's a confrontation that happens and it's just so good. Yeah. So good. You just have to watch it.
I thought it was kind of meh.
Really?
Yeah.
No, man. I thought it was. It felt like the right time to show that moment, especially if you watch the trailer for next week. And right now, Kevin's just like airplanes are flying overhead.
Yeah, I don't watch trailers before.
Is this season at least a bit more easy to follow?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. I would say entirely, because like last season was very, just because of how fragmented the stories were and how everything was just kind of spread out. This at least has a little bit of that mystery, like that lost mystery, but then there's a payoff and things start to make sense. And there is more of an understanding of what's actually happening.
Nice. I wonder if I'll ever get into it.
I always find, like, that's the thing I think that's interesting about Westworld. I was talking with someone about it and they were like, yeah, you know what, I think I really just like the show because I don't fully understand it. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's me with Lost, you know? I think that was the obsession with Lost when it first came out. And granted, say what you will about the ending and maybe a lot of things not being answered, but to kind of, you're going along for the ride, right? With the characters. The characters don't quite understand what's going on fully either, right? So it's I love that sort of meta narrative that way. Cool.
Yeah.
Kevin, what ya been doing? What you been reading? What you been watching? What you been eating?
It's funny. I'm kind of in the same boat as Justin in that I haven't watched nearly as much over the last week or so as one would imagine given what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I have a few weekly shows that we watch, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and,
nice. It was so good, eh?
That was, this season has been awesome.
Awesome, yeah. We were talking about that last time. I laughed so hard in this episode.
Yeah, it was, the getting back to the precinct for everything. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. What else? I started a rewatch of Big Bang. I always need something on in the background when I'm working, and so that's, it was Community last time, it was The Office before that, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I have Big Bang on in the background every day. I've been playing a little Uncharted. I'm like 2 chapters away from beating the first game, so that's good.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because we're talking about video games as our topic of the show. What you guys been, I guess, playing, during this time? And so Uncharted, and you're liking it so far?
It's okay. I've had some issues with it, but
Yeah. Which one are you on yet? Are you on the first one still?
just the first one still.
Yeah.
So it takes me a while to get through these things.
You just wait. You'll once you hit that second one, it's gonna. There's a. I would say probably one of my favorite moments is the opening scene of the second one. So. It's a good
nice.
one. Yeah.
Nice. Really I'm excited to get through this one. The puzzles are getting so hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's taking a little longer, and there's definitely been some rage quits. But
if you need a strategy guide, no one's going to blame you at this point. The game's been out long enough; it's fine.
Yeah. So I have looked up a couple walkthroughs for like certain little moments, but I try not to.
Yeah,
it's only if I get stuck to the point where it's like
where it's not enjoyable.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, no, I'm having fun with that, and then I'm actually starting. To get back into Lost. Funny that you should have mentioned that, because I'm joining my buddy David Portman on his podcast Up Next.
Shout out.
We're going to do 3 episodes on Lost.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
He's doing Up Next?
His podcast is called Up Next, UPNXT. Usually they look at wrestling, but they also... for their premium content, do movie reviews and that sort of thing. And so I think it's the 15th anniversary of the show, and so we wanted to do Lost. Man.
You might get me back into it, I gotta say.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch all 118 episodes. I think it's something like 5,000 minutes or 80 hours, so that might be tough to get done by next week, but we'll see. He's picked out, I think, 15 or 16 episodes.
Very cool.
That sort of chronicle the show and everything like that, and so...
If I had a lost podcast, I would probably call it Previously On, but that's just me.
There we go. I like that. That's excellent, actually. So yeah, that's exciting. That's what'll be up to this week.
Very
it's
cool.
Going to be a lot. I'm going to be getting lost. So yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to start watching Ozark season 3, and on Netflix, and I realized that I never finished season 2. So I actually restarted my watch of Ozark season 2 because I think I was 4 episodes in, and then I found that I just didn't really remember a lot of it. So I restarted it, and Jason Bateman is fantastic. He's honestly, there's a moment close to the end of season 2 where like his character the entire time he's so stone-faced and he doesn't react to anything, and he's strong in that way. And there's a moment in this near the end of the season where you just get to see him break down, and it's fantastic. It's just such a good acting moment between him and who's the girl that plays Ruth in that show? Julia Garner is just unbelievable. I want to start watching some other things she's in because she's actually fantastic. What else?
So many people keep telling us to watch that one.
Dude, you got to watch Ozark. It's Breaking Bad again, but it's different enough to the point where you're like, because I think this one you actually care more about the rest of the family as opposed to Breaking Bad, where you're just like, you wish all the rest of the family would go away.
Right.
But dude, it's awesome. It's so good. I watched a couple episodes of The Midnight Gospel on Netflix. Justin, you might be into it. It's very different than what I thought it was. So it's from the makers of Adventure Time. So it's got that Adventure Time look to it where it's very trippy, but think about it like as if it's Adventure Time but for adults. And essentially the main character goes from like interdimensional planet to interdimensional planet, and he records a space cast, which I guess is like a podcast, right? And the interesting thing about it is the show kind of has its own structure. Once it falls after a certain point during the intro, which is kind of like a cold open, they go into this essentially what sounds like a pre-recorded podcast. So like he basically just talks with like a guest, and the guest talks, but their characters are animated and crazy stuff is happening around them, but they're just talking like as if we're talking right now on our podcast. Like, you know,
it's
like
so it's like an illustrated story.
Yes, exactly. Or an illustrated podcast. And it's so weird, man. Topics, just everything to do with psychedelic drugs and like how misunderstood they are. It's really interesting. I would give it a watch. If you're an Adventure Time fan, you'll enjoy the aesthetic of it. You might not enjoy the content. But for me, I dig anything that I don't know about. So I was into it. Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. And then as for gaming, still all the Animal Crossing. I cannot escape it. Tom Nook has me under his thumb. I finished Ori on my stream. And which, quick plug, twitch.tv/NatePlaysGames if you want to check me out. Maybe help me pick the next game. I am thinking Doom, though. I think maybe that's going to be where I start as far as like a campaign game, and then maybe I'll mix in some other games. So definitely check that out. Speaking of gaming, that is going to be our topic for today. But before we get to even the news and then our topic, no trailer time today because let's be honest, there's no trailers again. But we have a write-in question from a fan, which is awesome. So this question is perfect. It comes from Megan from Toronto, who asks, which gaming, Nintendo, Xbox, etc. series do you want to create a line of Funko Pops? Justin, we'll start with you.
Mario, baby.
Ah,
that would be great. Mario
right?
would be fantastic.
Dude.
Like a lot of those characters, you know, in the variants that you could do with the characters, the moments you could do, the rides you could do. It would
Dude,
be.
think about it. Mario Kart rides.
Yep.
You have
Mario Kart
like a
rides.
sub series right there.
Yeah.
You get a Yoshi one.
Yep, that's what I mean. You get Yoshi. I mean, you could do a moment if you wanted to. You could do a cool moment, like the flagpole moment,
or like 1-inch Goombas.
Yeah, 1-inch Goomba. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, and just like it would be cool if they, you could do a whole lot with that. So I know that's one that they've tried really hard to like get.
Yeah,
and they're working on, because now that they have Pokemon, which is obviously not a Nintendo property, but they just have the gaming rights.
They share a close relationship. You also have to imagine too with Mario now easing up on the license.
Yep.
Like they've got Lego now, right? So that set came out.
Yeah, and then of course Zelda. Like Zelda would be ideal.
Dude,
right?
I thought about Zelda too. I do think that would have been. I can't believe that hasn't already happened. Because there's so many options, especially with Breath of the Wild.
And you know what they're doing now too is they're doing more of these multi set pieces that come together. So it'd be cool to do like a Smash Brothers series where it's like, Metroid, like all the primary ones.
You're using all the answers when you say Smash Brothers. Dude, I absolutely agree with you. Justin, really quick, if they could do a 10-inch, what's the obvious choice for Mario?
Bowser,
right?
100%.
Yeah. That would be so dope.
I would totally pay for a 10-inch Bowser. Oh, hell yeah.
100%. Cool. Yeah. All right, Mario series. Kevin, did you have anything for Megan's question?
The jerk took the good one.
I know. I literally have
Mario
a whole thing written out.
Would 100% have been my answer. So I think Banjo-Kazooie could lend itself to be a nice looking series.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they already have. I thought they already had him, but I'm thinking of Crash Bandicoot, right?
Right. Yes.
Right. But Banjo-Kazooie would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's enough memorable characters from that you could have a decent little line, I think. So
for sure, very cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to just see I wonder if they could even do Funko. Do they do Funko objects with Pops? Like what if they just, because like in Banjo-Kazooie, there's that puzzle piece, the gold puzzle piece, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, could that be like its own Pop in a way, like without eyes?
I think
or
it would
is that
be
not
something. No, it would just be something that would come with a Pop, right? Like
right,
it would be like that
it.
variant Pop that you would have that comes with that little thing. You know what I mean? Like
they would do one with Banjo with his hand out, and then one with another one that's the exact same pose, but a puzzle piece is in his hand.
Only do 1,000 of them.
Bruto. Funko, why do you do this to us? Cool. Okay. Well, because all the good answers were taken, I absolutely was thinking Mario and then Smash Bros. I decided to go with something a little bit different. I don't know if you guys have played this game, so it might not resonate as well. But Overcooked, I thought, was a really cool idea. The characters are all pretty sort of squatty already, and they kind of look like Funko Pops already. So there's different, there's a raccoon. I think the raccoon's in a wheelchair, which is like the best part about that game. Because if you haven't played Overcooked, it's essentially just a multiplayer game, 4-player game where you want to kill the people that you're playing with because of just how frustrating it is to have to do things. Because you would chop the vegetables and then you would send the vegetables over to them, and then they would have to cook them, and then they have to send it to somebody else who has to. So you're all line chefs, and I think that would be fantastic, especially if they did a set, right, where they have a kitchen and things like that. And I think it could totally work.
I want to play this game.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, if you haven't played Overcooked, we got to maybe see if we could do an Overcooked over the internet somehow. We'd have to make sure. The biggest thing with Overcooked, though, is you have to be able to talk to each other. So FaceTime would have to be a must.
Right. No, it looks awesome.
Yeah, man. Definitely check it out. Overcooked, I think 1 and then Overcooked 2 they're both on the Switch. They're on PS4.
Cool.
But thank you so much, Megan, for the writing question.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Rock. If any of our listeners happen to love what we do, but also would love some maybe nerdy artwork, you can check out Megan's Instagram at meganclara.draws. She does some awesome pieces. I've even got some up in my house. So definitely check that out on Instagram. Thank you so much, Megan. And listen, if you listeners want to write into the show with your questions or comments and suggestions, Justin, where can they do that?
They can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com.
Yeah, nailed it. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, let's get right to it. Let's dig into the news.
It's all about the details.
All right, well, let's get into this first news story here. We now know when the Cassian Andor series takes place in the Star Wars timeline. This in a write-up by Matt Fowler at IGN. With the news that Genevieve O'Reilly will reprise her role as Senator Mon Mothma for the Disney Plus Cassian Andor prequel, marking the fourth time that the actress has actually donned the Rebel Alliance leader robes, also comes the exact placement of the series in the official Star Wars timeline. So while announcing the casting, which now includes O'Reilly, Denise Koff, Kyle Solar, and which one that really surprised me and I'm super stoked about, Stellan Skarsgård is actually going to be in it, which is super cool because I love him. All the Skarsgårds are great. But anyways, the series is going to take place 5 years before the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Tony Gilroy, who co-wrote Rogue One and also wrote and directed all the reshoots, will direct and serve as showrunner for the series. He recently replaced Stephen Schiff. So.
You mean Tony Gilroy saved Rogue One? Yes.
Listen, but guys, what do you guys think of 5 years before? That gives them a lot of time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a little confused by the possible sequel.
Yeah, I don't understand how that
is he a
works.
Ghost?
Maybe
unless they show Mon Mothma.
Yeah, that's probably how they do it, right? It could be a back and forth though.
Yeah, it could be a time shift thing. So.
Like I would even look at something like, imagine if they did a storyline where we see the events taking place after, and then also all of the sort of maybe things that happened because of what happened 5 years ago. So maybe there's got to be some sort of big event that they're going to kind of follow, and then we're going to see the outcome of it while at the same time flashbacking back to seeing how it happened. That's if I was to write it.
Right. As long as Tudyk's in it, I'm happy.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to be there for
more
sure.
of him for sure. Like
that'd be fantastic.
I think one thing is for sure, though, that a lot of these questions that we might be having would have or may have been answered at Star Wars Celebration this year, because there's been a lot of like little things that have been announcing this over the last couple of months that have been kind of leading towards potentially big announcements. I think getting more information about Rosario Dawson being in Mandalorian season 2, if that's actually going to happen.
Right.
They just brought on a female director from Russian Dolls to direct a new series.
Yeah, a female-centric series, apparently.
Yeah. So it's like, and there's a lot of things happening within the Star Wars universe, but not enough information. And I'm like thinking that either May or August, obviously, was probably going to be the pinnacle of when a lot of this was going to be revealed.
I'm shaking my head, Justin, because you're going right for my heart here. Like Darcy and I had the tickets. We're everything's ready to go for August.
But there's still no news, right? Like there's still no news.
But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, you got to be realistic. If Disney is not going to be opening, apparently, as we talked about last week, until next year, essentially, it's not going to happen. I'm so sad about it because I was really looking forward to the first non-Skywalker saga celebration.
Yeah, for sure. I also think, though, that the Disney story that you're thinking of is the one that we're going to be talking about today, which is
listen, guys,
the next story.
It's been a long day. Let's get into the next story here. As I mentioned, Disney theme parks may not reopen until January 2021, say analysts in a report from Jim Vejvoda at IGN. Disney is reportedly considering keeping their theme parks and resorts, such as Disneyland in Anaheim and Disney World in Orlando, closed until at least the beginning of the new year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Disney parks remain indefinitely closed at the moment. According to the Los Angeles Times, the global financial advisory firm, UBS, informed their clients Monday that the Walt Disney Company is likely to wait until January 1st to open its theme parks. Once they do, UBS predicts that they will see only about 50% of the 2019 attendance, and they can expect reduced profitability until there's a vaccine for the coronavirus. Guys, like with Disney losing upwards of $30 million a day, what do we think is going to happen to our favorite place on Earth? Is it ever going to be the same?
It's only $30 million a day. That's not that much.
That's
That
a
is
lot,
of
man.
money.
A day? Oh
Just
my
kidding.
gosh.
Just
But
kidding,
they'll
guys.
get bailouts and stuff. They'll be fine. And it's Disney. They'll be fine.
For sure.
Yeah,
but
they'll be fun. I'm mad because I was planning to go at the end of the year. I was
Yeah, and I know
100% planning to go at the end of the year.
I know, Kevin, you had some plans to do some reshoots or some additional shoots for your wedding.
Oh yeah, I
as
was
well.
supposed to go down and plan out my books and my wedding photography and all my pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah. It's crazy, man. What do you think? Do you think when they come back online again, like when they open back up, is everything going to be fast pass? Specific. Like there's no waiting in lines, and
I wonder. That's interesting.
because what are they going to do for lines? Because those lines are already long enough as they are. Given you want to put 6 feet in between people, right? Like.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they let fewer people into the park.
That's what they were saying.
Sort of, so
That was one of the big things. Like before this broke, was that like how would Disney approach this? So there's been a lot of like chatter of like checking people's temperature before they come into the parks.
Yeah. I also
having different checkpoints and wash points and stuff like that, but also significantly reducing the number of people that are actually allowed into the park on a daily basis. So.
I also think that they need to look at being fair and seeing if there's a way that they can limit Florida residents or Anaheim residents and visitors. Like have a way to sort of say like, cool, we understand you live here, this is your park, but also we have people from all around the world that are trying to get in. So if they are going to do a reduced amount of people, don't you think that would be fair to sort of be like, hey, you people who have access to it constantly, and the people that have been looking forward to this for maybe 3 or 4 years before this coronavirus, like, don't you think it's fair that those people that can barely
sure.
get to the park
in an
should
ideal
have
world,
access
that's
to it?
very fair, but I don't think that that's easily manageable, right? Like,
No.
That's not something that you could really, I think they have to just say that this is how many tickets are available for the day, and then those get bought up, and then that day
Whoever
is
gets it,
sold
gets it.
out. It's sold out.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? It would be essentially that.
And I mean, we had so much to look forward to with I'm sure with anything new that was going to be at Galaxy's Edge, but also the Avengers campus in California was supposed to have been opened, right?
Well,
July.
I think this will give them. It'll all be ready now when they do finally open up.
Yeah.
Well, because people are still working at the parks, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
I think the construction on the Star Cruiser Hotel has halted.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they are still doing the rides.
Yeah, and maintenance.
So they're still
and stuff.
working on Tron and stuff like that. And there's people there to keep maintenance and everything like that for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I really hope that we can go back to the happiest place and the most magical place on Earth as soon as possible.
I was planning 2021 anyway, so I'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll make sure we get our tickets tomorrow. All right. Let's get into the next one. Right, because we're going to be talking about some video game memories as our topic of the show. I wanted to do kind of a gaming news story here. Sony plans limited PlayStation 5 output in first year. This is a story by, and I hope I'm not butchering these, Takashi Mochizuki and Yuki Furukawa from Bloomberg. Sony Corp plans to produce far fewer units of its upcoming PlayStation 5 in its first year than it had for the previous console's year. The Tokyo-based tech giant is limiting its initial production run, in part because it expects PS5's ambitious specs to weigh on the demand, leading to a high price at launch. According to different analysts, they're looking at all the different parts that are going to be put in, and they're looking at around $499 to $549 USD. So guys, 2 questions. Are you worried about getting a PS5, right? Are you worried about getting a PS5 this December? Do you really think these new consoles are going to come out? Are they going to get delayed? And is $549 USD too much to ask for you?
Yeah, way too much.
Yeah.
Like that, like we convert that to Canadian, that's almost that's like almost 200, like especially with the dollar right now, that's, that's astronomically high. You're close to 700, I think.
At least.
Yeah, right. Like, and that's probably just the system, no game.
Right. It'll probably
I mean?
be like a base system, and then there's going to be one with a larger hard drive, or
Yeah.
So larger SSD.
That's a lot. This is one of the things, like, it's to be expected, obviously, is the demand's probably not going to be there, right?
Yeah.
I think that the reality is demand won't really be there as much.
You don't think so? Because according to analysts, they're saying
there's people losing their jobs right now. There's people that aren't making an income. Like, who's going to really,
that,
like,
you have to imagine the amount of people that are hardcore gamers that have a PS4 already that do have that dispendable income, especially in the December month, right? Especially around Christmas, because people usually save up. I guess what they're saying is that it's not that it's going to get delayed, but people are thinking that it's just going to be extremely limited. Like, we're talking more than the 360 was at launch, which if you ever tried to get an Xbox 360 at launch, you didn't.
Yeah. No, I think that, like, you know, I haven't really obviously been following the console world as much, but, like, I follow the camera world, and there's a camera that's supposed to be coming out like this summer, or that was supposed to be coming out this summer. Yeah. And it might still come out, but there just might not be as many because manufacturing has, on their end, has dipped significantly. So it's like, in the, you know, I guess consumer hardware perspective, it's kind of happening all over. You know, there's also talks with Apple and iPhones and future product releases, like how much they're going to be delayed in terms of manufacturing and distribution and stuff like that. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what's already going on.
Yeah, I know that I just know that I'm going to want one. Kevin, what about yourself? Do you think you want a PS5 in December, or are you good to continue your playthrough of Uncharted?
I'll be late. I'll be late to the party for sure. I'm always a couple of years behind on these now. So
sometimes that's the best way to go.
I got the PS3 on launch. I got the PS4 on launch. I'm okay with not getting the PS5 this year based on the circumstances.
Sure.
On day one, but you know, inevitably I will get it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more cost friendly than friggin', like, you know, $700 Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
Wow. $750. That's $200 more. That is ridiculous.
Jeez. Let's hope our dollar is somehow better by then.
Right.
Cool. Well, guys, that has been our news. Some interesting news stories there. But guys, I want to get a little bit happier. I want to get a little bit more nostalgic. So we're going to move into our topic of the show, our gaming memories. Let's get into it.
It's time for the topic of the show.
All right, guys, so we are going to be talking about our gaming memories for this week's topic of the show. So we wanted to kind of get, you know, kind of a different perspective from all three of us. Guys, like, what would, you know, I'm definitely a hardcore gamer. What would you guys classify yourselves as gamers?
I'm very casual.
Casual? Yeah.
Very casual. And more as the years go on, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot more when I was younger.
Yeah, I would say I'm fairly casual. There's certain games that, like, I'll stick with, but it's not something I do every day. It's something that I kind of, like, will jump in and out of based on the games that come out, and, like, really focus on them and, like, play them, and then just kind of then go back to just not gaming for a while. So it's very on and off.
Cool. Yeah, like, you have your, like, sort of bouts of like being a gamer, and then moments where you're like, I haven't played a game in like 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've had that before, but I think a lot less. Guys, this is going to be kind of like more of an interview style segment. I'm going to kind of throw out a question, and then all three of us are going to kind of take our times to answer it. This is something similar to something that we want to try, where we might start to do maybe another interview segment in a future episode here on the Geekcentric podcast. So, you know, write in, let us know if that's something you're interested in. But guys, I wanted to start with, I think where we absolutely have to start. Your first memory ever playing a video game. Who wants to go?
So I remember when I was very, very young, watching my uncle play his NES. And so he would play, you know, Punch-Out and, you know, the original Mario and stuff like that. And I had fun watching him, but he'd never let me play. And then he finally let me play Sonic on his Sega. So that's probably the first game I can remember playing, you know.
And how old were you? 32?
No, so that would have been when I was about 5 years old, probably.
Oh, cool. And so on the Sega Dreamcast?
No, just the regular like Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
Oh, it's Sega Genesis. Oh
Yeah.
man, see, I was never a Sega guy, so for me it was like I think I had a Sega handheld, and that was about it, which was much further from their first console release, right?
Oh, big time. That Sega, I remember that Sega handheld, and it had like, it didn't take like 8 AA batteries or something like that. So,
like you get it, and you're like, this is pretty light, and then you put the batteries in, and you're like, oh,
It's a brick. I know. It's like a brick.
I'd go on an 8-hour car trip, and it would use like 24 batteries. It was ridiculous.
amazing. Cool. So yeah, so Kevin, your first. I mean, I think a lot of people that's their first, right? Is watching someone play. Why wouldn't he let you play?
He was just, what are you going to do at 5, right? I'm not going to be any good. So,
Yeah,
you watch him play and sort of, and I remember doing that with my younger brothers themselves. Like Darcy will always talk about how he would watch me and I'd never let him play, So.
See, something we do in my household, because I have little cousins, is if now they're all at an age where they can actually play the games, but I would hand one a controller that just wasn't paired to the system.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah.
do that with my
Big
nephew.
time.
Yeah.
Right? And then he just thinks he's playing, but there was one moment where he just kept asking, like, who I am on the screen, who I am. And we're like, you're that guy, buddy. He's like, no. And we're like, they're too smart. Justin, how about yourself? What is your first ever memory playing a video game?
Yeah, I think I had to have been maybe like 4 or 5, so in and around the same age, because I guess Kevin and I are the same age, so makes sense. We had just moved in to our house in Aurora, and I remember my dad and my uncle bringing home like this big like briefcase, like it was a black briefcase, and they said, oh yeah, we went to the video store and we rented this. And then they opened it up, and it was the NES, like Nintendo's original system.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was, right? Like I was a kid, I had no idea. And like he plugged it in, and very much like Kevin, I didn't get an opportunity to play, but they played this basketball game that I think is called Double Dribble. I think that's the one.
Double Dribble sounds like an
Yeah,
NES game. An SNES?
No, NES.
NES. Yeah, that sounds like an
original.
NES game. All right.
Yeah, and it was like I just remember this graphic, like when you used to like if there was a like if you were gonna go do a slam dunk, you know how there was like a cutaway shot now in games, and it's like all like super graphic. It was just a pixelated image of like someone just going to do a slam dunk, and it was like it was the most ridiculous thing, and I was so captivated by it.
It was the the very first QuickTime event, or not even that, because I guess you wouldn't even be controlling the character, right? It's just like a video cutscene.
Yeah, it's just a video. Yeah, it's just a video cutscene, like of someone like in midair, and it's just pixelated to look like a video game.
And for some reason, they're like black and white.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
looking at pictures right now.
Yeah,
This looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really odd. So I vaguely remember that, but that's how I interacted with consoles. I didn't own one for a very long period of time. It was always like my dad renting consoles, and then I would play it. So I'd have it for like 3 or 4 days, and I would play like I've played Sega, the Dreamcast. I had obviously the NES later. Yeah, it was a very interesting experience as a kid, like wanting to game but not having the ability to game. Like I always wanted to. Yeah, I would do it mostly at my cousin's place because they were a bit older and they always had the systems. They always got the latest systems. Oh yeah, they were always on it.
You would think that that I, being me, would have always had the latest and greatest, but we all have to be introduced to the world of gaming somewhere. And so, playing with dinosaur toys only lasted me so long. And then when I was 5, I had to take the bus home from school, and I wasn't able to get to the bus wasn't able to get to like where it needed to take me on its route, like to my house, because I guess we lived pretty far out. And so it had to drop me off at my friend's house. Shout out to Stephen and Amanda Grant, who I haven't talked to in a billion years, if they're listening. They're not. And I remember I would wait for my mom to pick me up there, and they had the SNES. Was my first thing I ever saw with video games. And they had the 2 best games, Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World. And I remember, taking turns between deaths in those games, and my 5-year-old mind was blown away with Super Mario World, because the graphics, they look like if you guys know, like they look like a cartoon in front of you. You know what I mean? And it was so cool, and they were nice enough to kind of, again, take turns with me there. And then Donkey Kong, like the fact that we had those computer-generated graphics, I get that it was a side-scroller, but those computer-generated graphics at that time, you know, after, you know, Pixar had just released, you know, Toy Story around that time, right? So it's like, you know, getting to see this in a video game, that's what hooked me right there, was Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country was awesome.
Dude, the minecart level?
Yes.
Oh, I still get nightmares. That's how we were introduced to video games. And then obviously we got hooked on them, and then we absolutely had to own some. So I would love to know, guys, what were maybe some of your first gaming consoles that you actually got for yourself? I know you kind of mentioned a few already.
Well, so my uncle gave me his Genesis at one point.
Yeah.
And then...
But he wouldn't let you play on it.
What's that? Well,
he gave it to you, but
he eventually gave it to me when I was probably around 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And so what happened is I ended up selling that at a garage sale, and along with a few other things, getting enough money that I was able to go out and buy my first system, which was the SNES.
Amazing, yeah.
And so that started something I would do for the next few years, is that I would sell a system to buy the new one. So I think I went like SNES to N64
right.
to PlayStation to Xbox, back to PlayStation, you know. But yeah, my first that I ever bought was the SNES.
Very cool. And I mean, I think that's something that every gamer has struggled with in the past, is just their dumb selves, or maybe their parents selling their old consoles. And now it's like, oh, I want an NES, and it's like, it's so expensive. Or, you know, N64s are like $200. Like it's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you ever get that sort of urge to go back and want to play some of those games that you gave up, or you're once you're done, old game's old?
Oh, it was neat. Our buddy Julian actually gave me a Sega Genesis, so I was able to go play NHL 93 or 94, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool. And then Darcy's buddy gave him an N64, so I played GoldenEye. That was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I was able to play that. So that was awesome to go back and do, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. I don't know if GoldenEye holds up as well as it.
Oh, the graphics are rough, man.
Yeah, and like the really controls.
The controls still are good. The controls were still good. I think the graphics are the biggest thing. I was just like, do I remember it being this bad? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't really look like people. They just like look like geometrical shapes.
Right.
Like,
we kind of look back at that stuff with rose tinted glasses, right? So, Justin, what was your first few gaming consoles?
So like I was saying before, my exposure to the console world was like through renting them, and I pretty much was doing that. And then for my birthday, I got the SNES with like a Mario bundle. It came with like Mario Party 8, and then like Super Mario World, and Mario Kart. So I had that for a while. I never got an N64, and it wasn't until PlayStation 2 came out that I actually bought
Jump back
one.
in. Really?
Yeah, and I bought a PlayStation 2, and then after that it was like, okay, PlayStation 3, and now PlayStation 4. So that's like how I've kind of stuck with it. I wish I really want to Switch.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, if you are interested in getting a Nintendo Switch, I think you probably should just pull the trigger as soon as you can. Just with so many of them being actually really hard to find right now, which apparently has a lot to do with there's people online just being awful people who are using programs to buy them up in bulk and resell them, and it's just disgusting. So Nintendo's working on combating that as best they can, but if you see a Switch, just get it. Even if it's a Switch Lite, just buy it. My first console was the SNES. Donkey Kong Country 2 I actually owned. I never owned Donkey Kong Country 1. Super Star Wars, which anybody who says they've beat Super Star Wars, they haven't.
That game was impossible.
Oh, dude, you cannot, like, I tried playing it now, and I'm just like, I can't even get past without cheating, so I don't know why they had to make it so hard, but I guess that's just video games back then. And then the other game that I had on the SNES was Real Monsters. Do you guys remember that show?
I remember the show for sure.
Dude, the game was also, I think it was probably terrible if I remember properly, but it was just, when you're a kid, right? And you play these terrible games because that's what you have. That's what you have to play. So you just play it over and over again. I never really took a break. I jumped right into N64. Two main games on there, obviously Mario Party, and then also Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. The mini games in there were super cool. It was actually probably one of my favorite things with the N64 is playing Chansey's Egg Catch with my mom. And I had other friends from school too, but my mom was the most available friend that I had to hang out and play. Listen, Kevin's rolling his eyes right now. I was popular, I swear. But no, Chansey's Egg Catch, I still want to play that actually as soon as I can. The last one that I'll mention was the PS1 that I played at my grandparents' house in the room just between the kitchen and the backyard. And that was all about Ape Escape.
That's so funny that you put it there. It's like you're almost outside, but instead you're inside playing video games.
I got to see the outside. There was light and everything, but I wouldn't go outside. Are you kidding me? I had a PS1. Why do I want to go outside? I can go into space and hunt apes. So Ape Escape, and then, of course, Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I never liked the PlayStation that much.
Really?
Yeah. I was always more of a Nintendo guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least the
fair.
original PlayStation. PlayStation 2 changed the game a bit, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, because you got me hooked on PlayStation 2, buddy.
Yeah, PlayStation 2. My mom actually got my PlayStation 2, basically a stolen unit out of the back of somebody's trunk. a week before Christmas.
So Kevin...
She was a hero.
We need to compare parents and PlayStation 2 stories here because my dad... So there were two things that were extremely popular on the launch year of the PS2. PS2s and Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Okay.
And my dad actually had an extra Cabbage Patch Doll because he thought, I'll just buy two of them because the maximum that he was allowed to buy was two. So he bought one for my cousin who wanted one for Christmas. And then he actually got to the lineup for the PS2 and they cut off right before him. And he basically just asked the next person, hey, I have this Cabbage Patch Doll. I will trade you this Cabbage Patch Doll for your spot in line. And he did. And, I'm sure he could have made bank off that Cabbage Patch Doll, but he got me my PS2. And I think
awesome.
that I actually bawled my eyes out when I opened it. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that was one of my favorite Christmas memories ever.
That was like the pinnacle of gaming at the time, right? Like everyone wanted a PS2. It was crazy.
Very cool. Excellent. Well, those are our first consoles and our PS2 acquiring memories. Guys, we talked a little bit earlier about frustrating games. What was your first rage quit? Have you ever rage quit? This question is a little more directed at Kevin, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh!
not saying anything. He's as you guys know, he's a beast when it comes to movie combat. So, the rage is strong with Kevin. I just wanted to know, what was your first rage quit, Kevin?
I couldn't pinpoint it down, but I could almost guarantee that it was either in Aladdin or Lion King. Two of the hardest frigging games ever.
Are you talking about on SNES?
Yeah. I think I had them for Genesis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they were similar games, but yeah. Great,
dude.
fun games, but oh my god, there's just one level in each. The cave escape.
Yes,
on
the magic
on
carpet.
the carpet. And then those bloody monkeys that toss you around in Lion King.
Yes, in Lion King. Those
Figuring
were the
out
worst.
that puzzle, man.
Dude, so listen, if you want to get some, we talked about therapeutic games earlier too. If you want to get some therapy, Kevin, for your being upset with that, there's actually a collection on Switch that has both those games, and it has a rewind feature, so that you can, when you mess up on the monkey part, you can just rewind. So you might need to get that on the Switch because it's, and I think it's on the PS4 as well. So you could, Justin, you could probably get into it if you wanted to as well.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking for more
because I tried to play them about 4 or 5 years ago on the computer, and it's like even harder when you're using the bloody arrow keys and ASD, man. So
I can't remember. I can't remember who was showing me that, but when they showed it to me on the computer, it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It might have been you, Kev, but I don't know.
It was even harder. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
So there's another rage quit all those years later.
It's still making you rage quit.
I've probably rage quit about 7,000 times.
In video games or just in life?
You know,
Bit of column A, bit
to
of
rage
column
quit
B.
this podcast.
No, Kevin, I'm sorry. Justin, how about yourself? You ever rage quit anything?
I think I've gotten frustrated with a variety of different games. You know, most recently Spider-Man. I'm actually playing God of War as well. Some of the puzzles and the challenges. I just find it if I'm getting frustrated or I'm not like really doing what I should be doing or doing it properly, obviously, I just kind of take a step away from it. I don't know. I just like maybe my mind's not in it right now. Sometimes I've turned on a game, I've started playing, and then I've turned it off because I've just thought I wanted to game, but then just, you know, wasn't really invested in it at that moment.
Sure, yeah.
So
You have to be in that mindset, right?
yeah, but you know, we get onto a good run though with a game. You know, you turn it on and it's like puzzle, and you're really thinking and stuff like that, and you get into it. You know, you can go for hours and hours, right? So you know, I think Red Dead was a lot of that, and then there was times when it was like, bleh, just out of here.
Some of the best puzzles, you know, are the ones that you feel like you want to quit, and then just the moment where you're about to give up, you figure it out, and it's so rewarding, right? But I think in those moments, Kevin, you mentioned earlier the idea of just, you know what, if it's going to get to the point where it's not fun anymore, you use a guide, right? And that's fine.
I did that for God of War recently,
right? And that's fine. But I think the reason there were so many rage quits back when, you know, Kevin, when you mentioned playing Lion King or Aladdin, is because that there was no guide, there was no internet. I couldn't just, you know, look up a YouTube video.
There was guides.
No, but even if you could look up a YouTube video, you could see somebody do it. You still have to do what they're doing, and it was so hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for me, well, I've never like thrown have you guys ever thrown a controller?
Oh my God, I've broken controllers.
Really?
Like,
really? So see, that's a rage quit. That's a rage quit right there.
I'm surprised your Nintendo Switch is not bent in half with some of the... But yeah, I'll be sure to maybe not mention some games to you that'll make you do that. But no, for me, well, I've never thrown a controller. The most frustrated that I've ever gotten in a game was actually pretty recently, which is Mario Maker 2. So, you know, if you don't know Mario Maker 2, you know, people make these insane levels. And one of the rules for the levels that they make is in order to upload it, you have to beat it. So they can't just make something that's impossible. They have to make something that's possible. But people will make it like pixel accurate and like 1% possible. And dude, I swear I played the same level 7 hours straight. I didn't get past the first section. And dude, the things that I would say at my TV, I can't say them. I can't say them because there's preschool toys around. But dude, they like just nonsense words sometimes. What kind of words come out? Well, actually, don't say them. But like, do you guys find that like you'll just yell like rant? Like sometimes I'll just be like the snowman is good. Like I'll say weird stuff that I'm like. There's no filter between my brain and my mouth. Just words will come out because I have to expel anger.
Oh yeah,
you guys ever have that?
I very much sound like Joe Pesci in Home Alone sometimes. Frackin' son of a, you know.
That's awesome.
I've dropped F-bombs. I've dropped, you know, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually had my wife, like, come down and tell me, be like, you need to stop gaming right now.
Yeah.
Because you're not able to beat this level. So.
Yeah, you don't want Sebastian's first words to be...
Exactly.
an F-bomb.
Oh, I was yelling at Uncharted the other day pretty bad, and Sarah came down and was like, I can hear you upstairs. Settle down.
Yeah, you're going to need to be a little quieter.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, we talked about the fact that, Kevin, you mentioned you sort of were more of a Nintendo guy. I think, Justin, you're probably more of a PlayStation guy. What would you guys say, Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation as your console or as what you identify with?
Oh, it's so hard.
Yeah, I would say you're right, Nate. I kind of identify with PlayStation just because there's more of the gaming platform, and I like their gaming platform a lot. But
you kind of look like a PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more.
But I think, though, in terms of innovation, like when it comes to innovating the gaming experience, it hands down is Nintendo. I think that they've continuously tried to again, innovate the gaming experience. Whereas, Xbox and PlayStation, they're more just playing like the spec game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like whose specs are better, whose games run better, the resolutions are better, the processing power. They're like supercomputers, right? Like you can take these machines and wire them together and make a supercomputer out of them just because of how powerful they are, right? Whereas
Sure,
Switch is very much, like look at the Switch. It's flexible as a portable gaming console, but it's also something that you can dock and experience on your television. It's adaptable, right? Like it's very adaptable in different situations.
Sure, you've got on one hand you have Sony and Microsoft saying like, look how many flops we put into this thing, and then you have Nintendo over here saying, well,
Exactly.
we made the ability to milk a cow and feel the rumble specifically in your hand. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
like, that's a great example of that, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kevin, are you Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation? Where does your heart lie?
I think the majority of my fondest memories playing come from Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Like again, buying the first system I ever bought was Nintendo, and then I just loved the N64, and got so much out of that one. And not just so I think nostalgically it has to be Nintendo, and I'm rocking the PS4 right now. So
There you go.
You have a Switch too, though.
I do have a Switch, yeah, but I play the PS4 more than I do the Switch. So
Right.
Especially now, right? Like
I'm waiting for them to do a Pokemon Snap 2. That's what I want. Pokemon Snap was the best.
Dude, Pokemon Snap 2 would make so much sense with the motion controllers, right?
Yeah.
Like you can point it around.
Yeah.
They could integrate Let's Go Pokemon into it or whatever,
Sure.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been in the mindset that games are what make a console. So I guess this might be a little bit of a cop-out answer, but like for me, my loyalty is like it's all three for different reasons, right? Nintendo.
Cop out for sure.
I'll get to my real answer, which is Nintendo. But like Xbox introduced me to first-person shooters. I never played GoldenEye on the N64, so my first-person shooter experience started with Halo, which is unequivocally, I think, probably the best. And then Sony, I kind of fell in love with story games, which we'll talk about a little bit later with Sony, and then Nintendo, which I'll say my heart lies as well. You're right, with Nintendo, and mostly because of multiplayer, couch multiplayer. Nintendo is the only company that gets that right, bar none. And so it just sucks that right now online is the only way to play, which Nintendo has a little bit of work to do in that space, but
yeah. But well, I mean, they kind of invented it, right? With the 4 ports on the N64, it was kind of,
That's true. Yeah, they were the kind of like one of the first people. I think I think there were 4-player games on the PS1, but for the most part, I think the N64 was the first one to nail it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Have you ever 100%ed a game? Have you ever completed 100%? Got everything done. If you go back to it, there's nothing more you can do.
I mean, I think games used to be easier for that, right? Like games didn't used to be like, the trophies and all those things outside.
True.
It was basically a main story mission, and if you beat that, you beat that, I think one of the earlier games I can remember where you had to like collect things outside of just passing the levels would be Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I finished that one. Like, got all the puzzle pieces, got all the letters that you had to get. Like, I'm trying to remember what you had to do in it.
For sure, yeah.
That one's one I think I was really happy with the fact that I completed everything in it. And then recently I came close to doing Spider-Man. I have one more style of mission to finish, and I get the 100%.
Very
but
cool.
it's those stupid drones, man. I can't do those levels.
Yeah,
dude.
is it the swinging one?
Yeah, where you got to chase the drones through the city.
You're stuck exactly where I am, bro.
That's the one thing I was not able to get 100% on.
Yeah. I'm at like I think like 90 something right now on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's literally those last little few levels, but like I can't even. I think the last thing that I 100%ed was Uncharted 4.
Really?
Yeah, which I think I did. I'm pretty sure
I
that
missed
one
so many of
was-
those little bloody treasures.
Yeah,
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And God of War is like, is kind of like in the same sort of vein. Like there's a lot of things that you kind of pick up and find, and I'm not doing that enough. And it sucks that like the story, like to Kevin's point, like the story is like not even 70%. You know, it's like it's 30% of the game. 70% is like finding the rest of the stuff. It's like it was easier back in the day when you could actually. It was just the mission. You know, it was just 100% of
I
the
just
game.
beat,
in that
as I mentioned, I just beat Ori on stream, and I looked at the completion rate. It was 60%, right? And that's just the campaign, right? So there's still a ton. It's funny that you guys mentioned Spider-Man so much. That's the one for me. That's actually, believe it or not, the first game that I'm a bit embarrassed to say that I've ever 100%ed. I can't believe, thank you. I can't believe it's taken me this long in my life to say that I've 100% a game. But, you know, for me, I think the big thing is, like, again, when you're, I guess I'm able to be more invested in them, and I play a lot more. So for me, it's tough to sort of stick with a game and get 100% when it's like, oh, shiny new game just came out, you know, and now it's like there's a new game every day that people are telling you have to play. So it's, you know, it's a great first world problem to have. But no, you know what, Spider-Man, I want to play it again, even though I 100%ed it. I definitely want to play it again. And I think if any developer wants to know what's you know, if they said what's the key to making sure that our player base sticks with this game and 100%s it, it's traversal. It's traversal. I can't think of another game that I was actually happy to ignore the fast travel system for. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did you guys find that with swinging around and?
Oh yeah, it was a blast.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
That's
now.
the only way. That was the only way to get around.
For
sure.
Something was at the
sequel yet?
opposite end.
Mm-hmm. Is there any word for a sequel? Again, it's probably. I believe when the game had just sort of calmed down, there were a lot of rumors about what's going to be happening next. When you guys get through the entire game, you'll see why that is. But
I finished the game.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
You
did I.
guys finished the story, but you haven't just 100% it, right?
Yeah, again, I'm at like 98% complete on that. I'm so darn close.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for some people, but yeah, there's something that happens at the end there that there's definitely rumors, but again, with everything that's going on, I'm sure Insomniac. Plus, you got to imagine that's probably what they are working on, given that they're about to ship Ghost of Tsushima, which actually got a new launch date on July 17th. So it's been moved back.
So is that Ghost?
Ghost?
Is that the samurai?
Yeah,
the
dude.
samurai one. Yeah, it looks great.
So good. And
I saw a trailer for it recently, and I was just like, "Yeah, when is that coming out?"
Right? And I'm like, okay, so like horseback. I'm hoping that the traversal, like, I hope they take from Spider-Man what they can. Obviously, they're not going to have him swinging around, but maybe a little bit. Cool. Okay. What we talked about Nintendo and how they're one of the tops for multiplayer gaming. Guys, what is your favorite multiplayer gaming experience?
GoldenEye, baby.
Oh yeah,
GoldenEye.
yeah.
Did you guys? So Kevin, when you did GoldenEye,
Yeah.
sorry, I was just gonna say, when you did GoldenEye, how did you guys keep from screen peeking?
You just trust each other, you know.
Yeah, no, we definitely went on the honor system, but there were points. Remember, like with Julian or Eric, or when we would be playing with them, they would pull that every so often where they would screen watch and like they would be there and stuff like that when we used to play with them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and no odd jobs. No odd job.
Oh yeah.
I remember because I never owned that game. I guess I did actually play it a little bit, but I played it after I had played Halo. So I guess I went back. But I remember just all the cheats. You could do the big head mode, golden gun.
Yeah.
Paintball mode.
Paintball mode was so good.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, and it just, with the big
Was there
heads,
a zombie
it just made
mode? Was there a zombie mode?
I don't think so.
I don't
okay.
think zombies were a thing
Back then, probably.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I mentioned screen peeking. There's actually a game, and I'm just trying to see if I can look it up here. There's a game that's actually dedicated to screen peeking. It's actually called Screen Cheat, and you have to look at your opponent's. All four screens are on the screen, and you have to look at your opponent's screen to be able to tell where they are.
Really?
And yeah, it's really interesting. So it's kind of funny that's a real thing, but
That's cool.
yeah. Yeah, Justin. So Kevin, down with the GoldenEye. Justin, what's your favorite multiplayer experience?
I would have to say Battlefronts 2 on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Played that tons of times, especially with Kevin in Ottawa, and playing it all the time. It was a blast. It was so much fun. I think that to me was like the pinnacle of like a really good Star Wars game, other than like the Old Republic, but like that was an entirely different experience, I guess. But Battlefronts was so much fun. It was a great time. It was a great time.
I think they took a different approach to it, right? It wasn't just like there was a mode where you can go out and just kill each other, but I know that they have like it was like you had to get bases and secure.
Yeah, they had cooperative missions. They had against missions. They had things where it was like you could just go and I don't know if there was a story as much. Kev, do you remember if there was a story mission?
There was no story mode, but what you could do is you had to work your way through the planets, like But no, I think it was all just run and gun.
Oh yeah, it was tons of fun. We would have a blast.
I want to play that game again. Battlefronts 2 is so good.
Yeah. And it's not like and what's really crazy too, I think the other thing too is that having come off with certain games on PlayStation 2 that were more military focused, it was cool to see Star Wars have that same sort of like design approach to it, but it was Star Wars. And later, obviously, they would be coming out, DICE would be coming out with Battlefronts on PlayStation 4, and the experience was much different, especially with the interjection of, like, online. I find online gaming with these like, sort of first-person shooter games, it's almost like I'm not that great. I'm a casual gamer, but like there's these kids that are just like, you get killed, you wake up, you get killed, you wake up. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't.
Well, and then it takes 15 bloody minutes to load each level.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and developers will try to combat that with with trying to do level systems, right? And getting you're a level 1, I'm going to get you in with other level 1s, so on and so forth. But you're right, Justin. Like it's one of those things with multiplayer games now where if you weren't keeping up with it, you're even if you did it for like a week, you go away from it for a month and you lose just constantly.
And I think the thing about it that like I prefer playing like a game like Battlefronts or even Call of Duty with people in the same room rather than with online, because at least with the people that are in the room with me, there's like a marginal comparison of who's good. You know what I mean? Like there's a chance for everyone to win, really, right? But like with online, it's just like there's some crazy, and they're like probably 13 and they're just running around, knife stab, run, shoot, it's just all these different moves. Like they're just running around killing people, so it's crazy.
For me, shout out to Towerfall, shout out to Mario Kart, but I'm sorry, Super Smash Brothers will forever be the best multiplayer game in my opinion. I've played every single Super Smash Brothers since the GameCube, I guess. Well, all of them. I remember I remember playing with one of my little cousins, and they were playing as, I actually let them play, and they were playing as Jigglypuff, just mashing buttons. And, to this day, the game still surprises me because I threw something at them that I did not know could be caught. And in midair, my little cousin, who's just running their hand over the controller, catches this thing, absorbs it, and spits it back out at me. And I was just like, how did you even do that? Or I guess they were Kirby, but like I've never even seen that done in the game, and it was just something that was pro level stuff. And I don't know. I also think that Kevin, you gave me a thumbs down just a moment ago for this game
because it's just a button mashing nightmare, that game.
But it's
am so bad at it. I'm so bad at it.
Let me see if I can change your mind, Kevin. So you've got Mortal Kombat, and you've got your fighting games like Street Fighter, and all of those have very intricate combos that you would do where you press a sequence of buttons over a period of time. Super Smash Brothers does away with that, where of course it's still a fighting game and it still requires timing, but there's side A, up A, right A, and down A, and then there's side B and up B and down B, and all of the controls for each character, they all do relatively the same thing in a slightly different way that makes their character unique. But once you know what jump is, once you know what side smash is and what block is, you know it for every single character. Whereas I cannot say the same thing about any Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat game, which those games are awesome. They're super enjoyable. But I would say those are button smashing games. I think Smash is much more nuanced, and I think you got to give it another chance.
I've tried for years and years. It's just not very fun for me. I've never won.
Yeah,
I've never won. I suck.
I'll find a way to teach you, Kevin. You could be my Padawan.
Okay,
It'll be fine.
I do have an honorable mention though for this multiplayer experience, and I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed it replaying it a couple months ago. But Mario Party, Mario Party is like
which one though? You're talking about on Switch?
On Switch, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I know that there's variations, but I just like the experience of it. It's very board game-like, and, everyone's a player, and everyone gets a chance. And
the only thing that sucks is when you get screwed, through no fault of your own.
Right. Because someone else screws you. Yeah.
No, I agree with Kevin on absolutely 100%. The thing
that
with
was the
that
fun
game,
of it, though.
Yeah. Also,
it's like a board game, right? Like if you had an opportunity.
Sure, but I think there's skill and there's chance, and you'll see that too with Mario Kart, where people claim there's rubber banding, right? Where you'll be in first, and then the person that's super far back is going to just shoot right up because they'll get all the special items and stuff like that. So it's like they try to make it work in that way, but. No, I agree with you, Kevin. It does suck when you've won literally everything in that game, and then because a dice roll or like one person steps on one block and you lose everything. It's just
It can be a little frustrating
for sure.
But no, definitely props to the Mario Kart shout out because there's another classic multiplayer. You can lose a friend in one shot of a red shell, that's for sure.
With blue shells now these days too.
Well, yeah, right.
Cool, guys. So what is your favorite story-based game? What's the first game that you really were invested in the story and you thought, like, wow, like this is better than a movie for me?
I think the original Red Dead Redemption, it was so good. And so long but engrossing. I really enjoyed the story there and the ups and downs with the characters. And when somebody died or whatever, it was pretty powerful. I also thought the story was a lot of fun for I think it was GTA 5.
Oh yeah,
where you were the three different characters, and their stories sort of wove. That was the pinnacle of that series for me as well. But no, I think the Red Dead was the one that I think stands out the most for me.
But that's Rockstar for you, Rockstar, they know how to make a game that's not just open world, make your own story. It's also, when you want, we also have this incredibly full dialogue story, and even more so with Red Dead, and then of course Red Dead 2. But dude, I just remember Red Dead getting lost in that game and thinking that I was playing the story, and it was a side mission,
And then I think I'm going to like Uncharted for the story more than even just the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the best Indiana Jones movie in 20 years.
That's for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Story game. I think I talked about this in great detail, but, Last of Us was probably the story game for me.
Yeah, you love that game.
Just because it does blur the lines of gaming movie experience.
Absolutely.
So that to me, but I think that, very much to the point of what Kevin was mentioning about some of the games that he listed, it's all been kind of planted there. GTA had a very extensive period where it was one person in this one world, and with GTA 5 shifting to like 3 stories that weave together just helps bring that universe that much more, right? Like you're getting more invested in that story. And Red Dead was so much fun. Again, another game that really does blur those lines between the story and the game experience. You're invested in that and in a whole new way because you want to see how this story plays out. So
well, you mentioned how the game blends between gameplay and story, and I think a big part of that has to do with the advancements in animation and of course the graphics, right?
Of course.
But I love when a game does that to me, where I'm watching the game cutscene and then it cuts to a moment where your character's just standing there, and you think the cutscene is still going.
Spider-Man did it really well,
I found that a lot
too.
in God of War.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, and then you're just standing there, boy. Yeah, man.
Spider-Man did it really well as well. This past game, I think that's why
The story was awesome in that.
Yeah, and wanting to see it through, it was actually better than some of the movies.
Have you guys played the DLC for it yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, there's some good stuff with Black Cat and some other characters, and dude, you got to check it out.
Interesting.
The Last of Us is mine as well, dude. The game had me crying within 20 minutes. Don't say anything, Kevin. For me, dude, it redefined like how cinematic a game storyline could actually be. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with Uncharted, and I get that was kind of the first one, but The Last of Us, I think what sets it apart for me and why it stuck with me long past like rolling the credits is, you know, Nathan Drake in Uncharted, you probably kill thousands of bad guys and he doesn't blink an eye. Whereas with Last of Us, you know, the way that they engross you into the storyline, they make you feel things for characters that you're killing.
There's an emotional investment, right?
Yes.
Whereas like Nathan Drake is a hero in like an Indiana Jones story. This is someone fighting for their life.
There's no heroes
in Last of Us. Exactly. There's no heroes. It's just survival. Yeah. Right. It's a very intricate story about the like emotional story about survival.
Yeah, man. And dude, it's just, you know, as you said, it's kill or be killed. It's desperate. It's sad. I'm looking so forward to the next one, which, you know, we talked about getting delayed, but you know, story-based games are one thing, and we talked about how The Last of Us is so good when it comes to making us feel like we're playing a movie. But guys, there haven't been a ton of great video games that are based on movies, as well as not a lot of great movies based on video games, but even more so, there's so few video game movies that aren't just cheap tie-ins. Guys, what is your favorite video game that's based on a movie?
For me, I'm going a little outside the park here.
Sure.
It's the Star Wars trilogy arcade game.
Oh.
And so it was like a sit-down game. You had a joystick, and you basically go through and recreate some of the most iconic scenes from the original trilogy.
I remember that.
It's
an arcade experience, right?
It's an arcade game. It takes about half an hour. You go through the whole trilogy. You start off with the Battle of Yavin. Then you're on Hoth.
Oh, sick.
Then you fight Boba Fett. Then you're on a speeder bike in the forest moon of Endor. Then you lightsaber battle Darth Vader. And then you jump in the Millennium Falcon and blow up the second Death Star. So again, it was like a 30-minute experience. I've probably beat it about 10 times in my life. If I'm at an arcade and I see it, I'm sitting down with $5 and playing 100%.
So it was like the first Smuggler's Run, essentially. Like, in terms of, like, you know, flying the Millennium Falcon, right? I remember arcades, like, sitting there watching people play it, and you mentioned the Hoth level, and I remember just standing behind, like, some kid that just didn't know what he was doing, and, like, I'm just like, dude, you have to attach the hook thing to the
It was
AT-AT.
amazing,
like,
man. You got to friggin' take down AT-ATs, and, like, it's... I want a unit of this. That is... If I were going to own any arcade console, whatever arcade game, it would be that one.
What a
I wonder how much they are. I'm going to look that up. But
okay, find the price. I'll talk about the one that I was thinking about. It was actually, again, another one because my gaming experience was also infused with my friendship with Kevin because he exposed me to a lot of games because sometimes he had systems and games that I just didn't have.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that he had was the Matrix tie-in, the Matrix game that actually tied into the movie.
It was on my list. It was on my list. It didn't make it, but it was
dope. That game was dope.
We enjoyed it. And what I loved about it is that it actually fit into the story because you were obviously telling a story about how Jada Pinkett Smith's character and you know her on the ship that she was on.
Yeah.
And so you have this, you know, minor interactions with the people that are in the film, but it was very centric on that story. But there was like this hacking feature where you could like go into terminal and like hack a code, like, and there were cheats and there was like a plethora of them and would give you, it was like you were hacking the Matrix to give you more enhancements.
Right. You would get like unlimited bullet time.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
It's things like that, right?
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was so well done. And you did call out the fact that some of these movie, games based on movies are cheesy, and you're right. I thought this one actually kind of did it well because it just kept it focused on characters that we had already seen and identified in a movie, but just focus the story on them and just kind of who they are. And they actually had the actors come and do the voices. So I think that's also really, really cool.
I think that's how you do it, right? That's the way you get it right, is to say, we're not going to just make the exact movie. We're going to give you like the deleted scenes, essentially, as a storyline for a new game. That's fantastic. I kind of really want them to remake that game now. That's awesome. Very cool. Kevin, it sounded like you had a price.
I'm seeing some for as much as $4,500. So, and that's not even the version that I'm familiar with, where you actually had a seat. These are just stand-up models. So
Oh yeah.
I'm imagining it. You're hitting like woo, yeah. So I ain't getting this thing until I win the lottery.
There's a game that I've chosen as my favorite movie-based game that unfortunately is no longer with us, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World for Xbox 360 and PS3. Oh man, what a game, dude! So imagine this, right? It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up game in a movie that's like an homage to video games, and now you've got a video game that's an homage to the movie that's an homage to video games. It was awesome, dude. 4-player co-op. Kind of like, did you guys ever play like Streets of Rage or River City Ransom? Like those kind of games where you go, it's side-scrolling, you go on the streets, you can pick up anything, or you can pick up enemies and throw them and things like that. You guys ever play a game like that? No?
I'm not familiar with that one, no.
Dude, it was so cool. Unfortunately, you can only watch videos of it now. It was developed by Ubisoft, and they actually lost the rights to it. And because it was a digital only release on the 360 and PS3, you can't even buy it anymore. So unfortunately, it's gone. It's living in video game heaven. Hopefully it gets a re-release. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I think, as a Toronto fan and a fan of video games and a fan of that comic book series and movie, I think it absolutely nailed it.
Wonder if it's better than that crappy movie.
You didn't like the movie? Oh no! Oh, Kevin.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay, we can find another one that's similar, and we'll do a movie combat. You pick some like '90s gem that you love, and I'll take on
any video game based movie.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2.
No, oh, dude, no. I would love to go at it with you on that one.
Okay, fine. We'll have to figure something out, and I'll
definitely
combat Scott Pilgrim.
I'm definitely looking forward to that movie Combat, but I'm also looking forward to the future of gaming, guys. We got the last question for our topic of the show. I want to know, with everything we've talked about and with your entire journey up until now, what are you most looking forward to in the future of gaming?
I think the only place they can go is to expand on VR, right? Like, I think that's sort of the future.
Yeah. What's your experience with VR so far, Kevin? Have you?
Darcy owns one of the units. So I've done
Quest?
the Star Wars. I've done the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
The first chapter of that.
The Darth Vader game on the Quest. Yeah.
And then Beat Saber, which is a lot of fun for somebody who likes like Guitar Hero and those style of games. It's a cool to see that sort of taken to the next level.
Well, you mentioned Beat Saber. They actually just launched a workout version of Beat Saber as a DLC. So Kevin,
did they?
Get on it, dude. Let's do it together. You and I.
There we go. Okay, so now I just need to buy an $800 VR set. Okay.
Perfect. No issues there. What else are you looking forward to with VR?
Just to see what they can do with it, really, because I know some people who have watched sporting events and they say it's really, really cool. It's like you're there, and so if that's an option to make watching a hockey game or a baseball game that much more like you're there without having to go,
it might be the only way, right?
Right
now,
who knows?
yeah.
But no, that's something I would definitely like to try going forward.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I was heading too. Is like VR is kind of the new way of how to experience gaming. And if you take everything that has already been learned from previous consoles and gaming experiences, story, experience. It's just VR is this perfect place for it to all just blend and become next level. Like, I haven't played the Star Wars Darth Vader Oculus. I was tempted to just buy one, but Nate, I might just come pick one up from you if you're not using yours and just do it at my house.
Yeah, man, I'll inject a bunch of Lysol into your face and you can totally try it out.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude, I would totally let you do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I think I want to do the Star Wars thing, but I've done what would we do at Fan Expo? Was doing Iron Man. I was doing Iron Man, and I had such a tough time.
You were terrible
really doing it. Oh, I was terrible. But the thing that was so immersive of it was just how crazy it was to be in another space. Like I was kind of shocked by how sensational it felt to be in it. So. I think VR is the next step.
Imagine a Spider-Man type game in VR. Like,
they've done it.
Have they?
They've done it, but not well.
See, that's the thing, right? I still think it's so early for VR. You know.
Yeah. Well, the Iron Man PSVR game that was supposed to be coming out has been delayed.
Yeah, along with Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that would have been a really interesting, because even just doing that test trial at Fan Expo where you're just floating around and flying, it was like weird. Like I was actually moving. Like the person had to keep like, oh nope, you gotta go over here. Nope, you gotta go over here. So there's definitely that. I don't know. I think that's the future, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I want VR to just get better and better. What do you guys think are the two things that need to happen to get VR to be more mainstream? What are the two things that need to change?
I think price is a huge hindrance.
Right.
But you also need some full games, I think, for it to sort of, It's
a lot of tech demos, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right? It's a lot of 15-minute sort of, you try it and then you're done it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels it feels very demo-oriented. I was thinking, though, with the Star Wars Darth Vader piece, it seems like it's like story-based, like chapters, right?
Yes.
Yeah, how many chapters are out now for it?
There's 3 total. So the whole game is 3 chapters, but realistically, I mean, you're kind of right there. But even that is still pales in comparison. You've got like a 3-hour experience, maybe 4-hour experience compared to, a full video game being 12 hours.
But I also think the way you're digesting it and consuming it, in the sense that it's not you sitting in a chair with a controller versus it needs to be controlled and sort of. I guess contrived a little bit so that you can digest it in smaller amounts, so you're not just sitting in VR for
you're pacing yourself
8 hours playing a game, right? Like, you can't sit in VR for 8 hours and play.
That was the other thing that I was thinking was comfort, right?
Yeah.
That needs to change, I think. So price, comfort, and I think absolutely getting more full games. There's a game that released called Half-Life Alyx. Which unfortunately is not out on the Quest. I would hope it would come to Quest and PSVR. I think it's only out on the higher end versions of the VR systems right now. But Half-Life Alyx, according to critics, is the first virtual reality video game, in the sense of it's a full story, it's a full length game.
That game would be terrifying.
Oh, dude!
If it's anything like the original, like Half-Life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
I used to watch our buddy Julian play all the time on the computer. Those games were scary.
Well, speaking of making games even scarier, I think that's, for me, I don't want graphics to get better. I think, they'll only go up a little bit. I don't think they'll progress too much with next generation. But what I really think, once we dig into these next-gen consoles, maybe not at the beginning, but maybe in the middle of their life cycle, close to the end of their life cycle, I think we're going to see major improvements on AI. That's what I want. I want smarter character. I want to have a conversation with a video game character that's different than the conversation you would have and different than the conversation anyone else would have, right? Like, I think that's how we make games more realistic.
And that's how you start the robot over... So
we talked about Westworld. Westworld is going to come out of our video games. I mean, you look at Red Dead already. There's characters in Red Dead Redemption 2 that if you just follow them around for a day and try to maintain your you practice safe distancing, you'll actually see their lives. Like they'll have chores. They'll have family that they take care of. Like it's unbelievable the fact that that's already happening. So I just can't wait until it becomes more of an experience where, Kevin, you'll play a game and you'll just have such a completely different experience with a specific character because you have a different relationship with that character. I think that'd
be very cool. Yeah,
right. It's how video games get better. Well, guys, that is it for our topic of the show. I know it was a ton of questions, but maybe, you know what, I'm a little bit passionate about video games. You might be able to tell. So I really wanted to give you guys a pulse for, where we all are at Geekcentric on our video game journeys. But guys, that's it. You bunch of camping noobs. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. So that means you can actually check us out at YouTube at youtube.com/Geekcentric. Follow us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT, and follow us on Instagram at WeAreGeekcentric. Oh, and if you enjoyed today's episode and love gaming as much as I do, you can catch my live stream every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. at twitch.tv/NatePlaysGames. Come say hi. Come hang out with me. Let's play some games. Let's play some Doom Eternal and all that stuff. Be a lot of fun to see you. And if you are listening to this podcast and you do visit me there, shout out that you listen to the podcast. I'd love to know, who's coming from where. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start filled episode.
Oh, there goes my joke.
Oh no, guys, you guys had some fun with the interview thing? Do you think we might do that again?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to sort of explore a topic like this.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than it kept a conversation going in a structured way, but still allowed us some freedom to share stories and stuff. So it was a lot of fun talking about some nostalgic memories.
Yeah, and I think that it's also just nice to hear how we've all kind of either had similar experiences with gaming, and some different. It's always enlightening to see how we've all been impacted by something. So
yeah, man, cool, awesome. Well, we'll have to pick the next topic for next week's episode. We're not sure what it is yet, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see you then. And
yes,
as we say, love ya.
Stay home safe, guys.
Peace.